She slammed her palm onto the table so hard the crystal trembled. 10 million, she said. All of it. Her voice held no quiver. That was the thing that shattered me, not the figure, but the way it sounded rehearsed, as if she'd practiced taking from me in front of a mirror. I sat across from her at her parents' mahogany dining table, the very one where we used to play cards as children. You're serious? I asked. Dead serious, she replied. You have your job. You'll manage. I need it more. Need. She treated the word like breath. When I finally answered, my tone was flat. Fine, take it. But cut off all contact. Her smile was narrow and knife-edged. Perfect. That was the last line she spoke before she walked out of my life. Or at least that's what she believed. When we were little, Emily braided my hair before school. She used to be my protector, a shield against the bullies. She promised she'd always watch out for me. I trusted her. Even after she married Greg, with his polished grin and investment pitches, I trusted her. After our parents were killed in that crash, she phoned me, sobbing. Genuine tears. Or perhaps she perfected fake ones too. We buried them together, hand in hand. A week later, she handed me paperwork, her plan to manage the inheritance through her husband's firm. I refused to sign. She never forgave me for that. The first month after I walked away, I tried to let it go. But forgetting is hard when someone takes your blood. By the second month, small things began to surface. A call from the estate lawyer. Emily had liquidated everything, sold the lake house, and funneled the entire inheritance into a private offshore account. She'd exploited a trust clause, the very clause I'd trusted her to oversee before I declined to sign. Clever, merciless, and painfully predictable. That night I didn't shed a tear. I started to plan. For the next 3 weeks I tracked everything she touched, Greg's company filings, their shared properties, even her social media. Each smiling snapshot broadcasted arrogance. Someone convinced the storm had passed. But arrogance leaves traces. I traced her husband's firm to a chain of shell accounts used for insider trading, the same accounts the SEC had quietly been probing. And guess whose name appeared as a silent investor? Emily's. I couldn't help smiling. The perfect noose was already in place. All I had to do was pull. For the following month I became someone else. Quiet, courteous, invisible. I contacted an old college friend who worked as an analyst at the SEC. I described a hypothetical scenario. He requested documents. I sent them anonymously. At the same time, I approached Greg under a false identity, a potential investor intrigued by expansion. Men like him always smell money. At our meeting, I wore a black suit and a smile that didn't reach my eyes. He boasted for an hour, unveiling confidential spreadsheets, account transfers, even forged audit reports. I recorded every word. By the time dessert came, I had enough to bury them both. 3 months after that night at the table, I asked Emily to lunch. Neutral territory, a quiet rooftop restaurant with a view over the city she thought she owned. She looked dazzling, designer dress, diamond earrings, that same smug expression. Well, she said, sipping champagne, you wanted to talk. Yes, I said. I wanted to say goodbye properly. Her brow rose. Goodbye, again. I slid an envelope across the table. Inside were copies of INSEC subpoena and Greg's arrest warrant. Her hand stalled mid-air. What is this? She whispered. Your husband, I said, was indicted this morning, securities fraud, embezzlement, money laundering. They'll trace your name soon enough. I made sure they would. She stared at me, disbelief flickering into panic. What did you do? She demanded. Nothing illegal, I answered softly. Just fixed a mistake. She parted her lips to reply, but her phone buzzed. Greg's name flashed on the screen, then another buzz, a bank alert, account frozen. Color drained from her face. You ruined me. I stood. No, Emily, you ruined yourself. I only opened the curtains. Within hours they froze every asset. Greg turned on her to save himself. By week's end the penthouse was vacated. Her name was plastered across every news site. Socialite caught in an insider trading scandal. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. I drove to the lake house, technically no longer ours, though it still smelled of our parents. I sat on the old dock and watched the water fold in on itself. For the first time in months I felt a calmness. Revenge doesn't mend you. It won't bring the past back, but it accomplishes something almost as satisfying. It evens the ledger. Sometimes that's enough.